National Food Security Bill. The National Food Security Bill was passed by the Parliament in 2013. As per the provisions of the bill, it is proposed to provide 7 kilograms of food grains per person per month, belonging to priority households, at prices not exceeding Rs 3 per kg of rice, Rs 2 per kg of wheat, and Rs 1 per kg of coarse grains, and to general households, not less than 3 kg of food grains per person per month. It will benefit up to 75% of rural population. The bill seeks to provide food and nutritional security in human life cycle approach by ensuring access to adequate quantity of quality food at affordable prices to people to live a life with dignity. Features of National Food Security Bill. 75% of rural and 50% of the urban population entitled to 5 kg food grains per month at Rs 3, Rs 2, Rs 1 per kg for rice, wheat and coarse grains, respectively. Priority households under Antyodaya Anna Yojana are entitled to get 35 kilograms per household per month. The combined coverage of priority and Antyodaya households, called eligible households, shall extend up to 75% of the rural population and up to 50% of the urban population. For the children in the age bracket of 6 months to 6 years, the bill promised to give age-specific food, free of cost, through the local Anganwadi. For children between 6 to 14 years, one free midday meal shall be given every day in all schools run by local bodies. Children who are suffering from malnutrition will be recognized through local Anganwadi and shall be given adequate diet to become healthy. Every pregnant and lactating mother will get a free meal at the nearest Anganwadi during pregnancy and after childbirth, along with maternity benefits of Rs 6,000 in installments. The bill does not specify the criteria for selecting the beneficiaries eligible for PDS entitlements. This task is left for the respective state governments. The bill provides for the creation of state food commissions. Each commission shall consist of a chairperson, 5 other members, a member secretary, including at least 2 women, and 1 member each, from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The bill also has a 2-tier grievance redressal body involving a grievance redressal officer, DGRO, and State Food Commission. This is very crucial law, made by the government, to ensure the food security of the 75% population of the country. It will not only help in checking the number of malnutrition children, but also improve the health of child below 5 years, and lactating and pregnant mothers in the whole country. The total cost of implementation of this whole project will be around 1.24 lakh crores. An expert panel headed by former RBI Governor, C. Rangarajan, said those spending over Rs 32 a day in rural areas, and Rs 47 in towns and cities, should not be considered poor. Currently 21.9% population of India is under below poverty line. The Planning Commission of India, now Niti Aayog, periodically estimates poverty lines and poverty ratios for each year, for which large sample surveys on household consumer expenditure have been conducted by the National Sample Survey Office (NSSO) of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Normally these surveys are conducted on quinquennial basis every 5 years. However, the last quinquennial survey in this series was conducted in 2009-10, NSS 66th round. Since 2009-10 was not a normal year, because of a severe drought in India, the NSSO repeated the large-scale survey in 2011-12, NSS 68th round. Poverty and poverty line. How poverty is defined. In India, defining a poverty line has been a controversial issue, especially since mid-1970s, when the first such poverty line was created by the erstwhile Planning Commission. It was based on minimum daily requirement of 2,400 and 2,100 calories for an adult in rural and urban areas, respectively. Economists such as D.T. Likdawala and later Y.K. Alag, among others, were involved in working out the poverty line from time to time. Recently, some modifications were made, considering other basic requirements of the poor, such as housing, clothing, education, health, sanitation, conveyance, fuel, entertainment, etc., thus making the poverty line more realistic. This was done by Suresh Tendulkar 2009 and C. Rangarajan 2014 during the UPA regime. The Tendulkar Committee stipulated a benchmark daily per capita expenditure of Rs 27 and Rs 33 in rural and urban areas, respectively, and arrived at a cutoff of about 22% of the population below poverty line. It sparked off a furious row, as these numbers were considered unrealistic and too low. Later, the Rangarajan Committee raised these limits to Rs 32 and Rs 47, respectively, and worked out poverty line at close to 30%. The old formula for estimating the poverty line is based on the desired calorie requirement. Food items such as cereals, pulses, vegetables, milk, oil, sugar, etc., together provide these needed calories. The calorie needs vary depending on age, sex, and the type of work that a person does. The accepted average calorie requirement in India is 2,400 calories per person per day in rural areas and 2,100 calories per person per day in urban areas. Since people living in rural areas engage themselves in more physical work, calorie requirements in rural areas are considered to be higher than urban areas. On the basis of these calculations, for the year 2000, the poverty line for a person was fixed at Rs 328 per month for the rural areas, and Rs 454 for the urban areas. In this way, in the year 2000, a family of 5 members living in rural areas, and earning less than about Rs 1640 per month, will be below the poverty line. Poverty line estimates and controversy. According to the latest estimates of the Commission, people with the daily consumption of more than Rs 28.65 in cities and Rs 22.42 in rural areas are not poor. It has been criticized by various social activists as a retrograde measure. According to it, the number of poor in India has declined to 34.47 crore in 2009 to 10, from 40.72 crore in 2004 to 5, as per the estimates based on Tendulkar panel methodology, which factors in spending on health and education, besides the calorie intake. Extent of poverty. The official line delivers a poverty rate of around 32% of the population. A committee under Suresh Tendulkar estimated it at 37%, while another led by N.C. Saxena said 50%, and in 2007, the Arjun Sengupta Commission identified 77% of Indians as poor and vulnerable. The World Bank's PPP estimate of Indian poverty was higher than 40% in 2005, while the Asian Development Bank arrived at almost 50%. The UNDP's Multidimensional Poverty Index finds the proportion of the poor to be higher than 55%. Sustainable development. The term sustainable development was used by the Brundtland Commission, which has become the most often quoted definition of sustainable development. Development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development ties together concern for the carrying capacity of natural systems with the social challenges faced by humanity. As early as the 1970s, sustainability was employed to describe an economy in equilibrium with basic ecological support systems. Ecologists have pointed to the limits to growth. The 3 pillars of sustainability are a powerful tool for defining the sustainable development problem. This consists of 3 parameters: economic, social, and environmental pillars. If any one pillar is weak, then the system as a whole is unsustainable. Social sustainability is the ability of a social system, such as a country, family, or organization, to function at a defined level of social well-being and harmony indefinitely. Problems like war, endemic poverty, widespread injustice, and low education rate are symptoms of a system that is socially unsustainable. Environmental sustainability is the ability of the environment to support a defined level of environmental quality and natural resource extraction rates indefinitely. This is the world's biggest actual problem, though, since the consequences of not solving the problem now are delayed, the problem receives too low a priority to be solved. Economic sustainability is the ability of an economy to support a defined level of economic production indefinitely. Since the Great Recession of 2008, this is the world's biggest apparent problem, which endangers progress due to environmental sustainability problem.